Good evening, you're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the Chinese president has arrived for a crucial visit, sending all the right signals on cooperation and investment. But Indian and Chinese troops are currently also facing off in Ladakh. Can Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping bridge the trust deficit between India and China? Or will India always have to be wary of Beijing? Also tonight, controversy breaks out in Mumbai after the centre proposes to create a Times Square at the Kala Ghoda Cultural Hub. We debate the merits of the proposal. That's in about 30 minutes from now. But first, they sat on a swing, walked along the river and even wore similar Nehru jackets. Clearly, the personal chemistry between Prime Minister Modi and China's President Xi Jinping is there for everyone to see. President Xi arrived in Ahmedabad this afternoon to kick off a three-day visit that is expected to see some major announcements on the economic investment front. The two countries in fact signed 3 MOUs today, including setting up of an industrial park in Gujarat. But the tough talking is perhaps reserved for tomorrow. A fresh incursion by Chinese troops, in fact, has just been reported in the last few minutes, one that came hours ahead of President Xi's visit.
A firm handshake, a warm welcome as the Chinese President Xi Jinping arrived with his wife in Ahmedabad. These pictures belie the continued skirmishes at the line of actual control in Ladakh. A standoff between troops in Chumur, where India is objecting to a road that China has built, and a face-off between civilians in Demchok, where India has built a canal. All these protests outside the Chinese embassy in New Delhi demands for a free Tibet heard each time a Chinese dignitary is visiting. The first Chinese president to visit India since 2006, Xi Jinping was received at Ahmedabad airport by Gujarat Chief Minister Anandiben Patel and Governor O.P. Kohli. Xi is the first important foreign dignitary to begin an India trip from Gujarat and has brought along a business delegation of 135 Chinese CEOs with him and investments that may be worth $100 billion to be spent over 5 years on modernizing railways, industrial parks, power generation and smart cities. India is expected to raise concerns over the widening trade deficit. But as the continued transgressions at the border indicate, there will be some awkward moments too. India will refuse a liberalized visa pact until China stops issuing stapled visas to residents of Arunachal Pradesh and raise the repeated incursions by China on the LAC. China is expected to reiterate its concern over the oil exploration deals signed between New Delhi and Vietnam in China-controlled waters.
Sparkling sanitized streets, big billboards and Indian and Chinese flags fluttering in the river breeze. Those are what welcomed Chinese President Xi to Prime Minister Modi's home state. Yet they'll realize, warmth and atmospherics aside, that new governments don't necessarily mean an end to old tensions, which will all come up for discussion when the two leaders meet officially in New Delhi tomorrow. With Rohit Bhan, this is Mayami Chandani in Ahmedabad for NDTV.
Well, joining us on the program tonight, General VP Malik, the former Chief of Army Staff, here in the studio with us. Also, Ajay Shukla, Strategic Affairs Editor of the Business Standard. Lalita Kumaramangalam, the spokesperson of the BJP, is with us tonight from Chennai. We'll be joined shortly by Mr. Kamal Sibal, India's former Foreign Secretary. General Malik, to you first. When you look at the chemistry between the two leaders today, let me ask you to first dwell on that. Is it different from the way Indian and Chinese leaders have interacted in the past? There seems to be far more warmth between these two leaders personally than what I have observed in the last few years.
That is true. Firstly, I think Narendra Modi comes across very warmly wherever he has gone, whatever images that we have seen of him in Japan or in other countries. And also the fact that they have met. He's met President Xi earlier on several occasions, so they know each other. And so there is, the body language is different, is definitely warmer. But having said that, the proof of the pudding will lie in the what happens today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whether they are able to bridge the challenges that we both countries face along the border and the opportunity that they have got on the economic front, how they are able to make use of those. At the moment, what worries me is while there are enough opportunities for them to work together on the economic front, and it's a good thing, but the strategic challenges, whether we face it on the border or elsewhere, around us, those I think are getting compounded, if you know, and because we have not been able to resolve some of the issues pertaining to the line of actual control, and they have become irritants for a very long time. It's high time that they both devoted time, attention to sort out the irritants that are taking place, including what is happening today and yesterday.
I'm going to talk about that in more detail, sir. Let me just get Ajay's first thoughts then on how day one has gone. From what you see, the 3 MOUs also being signed, again on the issue of body language, do you think that this is all just a very good photo op, or there is substance to this?
I think it's a very good photo op. I think that in all these big visits, I mean, I'll take you back to when Pervez Musharraf came to India for the Agra summit.
Puppy Jappi.
It was all, you know, photo op, good vibes and so on the first day, but when they got down to hard business, when national interest comes forward, that's when the tough talk starts. So today was very much a choreographed visit. It was a well choreographed visit, and Xi Jinping certainly played along. I mean, the Chinese have this way of showing their superiority. This was not in evidence today. He was very much a level match with, yes. But that is not to say that this is going to be, you know, a sort of a dialogue process that is full of bonhomie and good wishes. I'll remind you that Narendra Modi just 2 weeks back was in exactly the same sort of mode with the Japanese Prime Minister, which is testimony to Narendra Modi's skill for event management. So I would say it's
interesting that you use the words event management, because that seems to you know, it seems to have a slightly negative connotation to it, that, you know, it is really less substance and more style.
I entirely use the word in its negative way. I think that if you have a look at the way he handled his inauguration, it was an event organized by an event manager. But when it actually came to substantive dialogue with, let's say, Pakistan, it all fell through. So, you know, the good vibes, the event management, the wonderful visuals and so on can take you so far, but then the tough talk will start.